All right, here we go. No cheating allowed. I'm going to walk through setting up a Apex app on K2 that the way you would set it up. Going to make sure this works. I've never actually done it this way. I'm always using kind of my setup. So I'm not acting like an outsider. I'm going to go out, get the code, download it, run it, all that good stuff. And it should work. And at the end, we should get something pretty cool. We'll end up with something like this demo site, which is available on the main branch in the exports demo folder. You can get that app right there, and all the code is at the same on main is currently up to date, 2023 April 12th, and still a lot of things to fix. Still a lot of refactoring going on. From a stability scale on a 1 to 10, we're going to call it like a 3 or a 4, and hopefully in a matter of a few months it'll be 5 or 6. By the end of the year, we're going to hopefully be at like a 9, 8, 9, or 10. So let's get started. The timer doesn't mean much. It's just a video I've got playing in the background. We're not going to try to run through this super fast, and because what you're doing, you're setting up a really, you're getting you're getting hours and hours and hours of work done in a very short period of time so that you can start building your application. And that's what we're going to do. All right. And let's get started. So first thing I need to do is, okay, we got to go and get the code. So we're going to go to Built on Apex, K2. And this guy told me that the code is available here on the main branch. So here's my main branch. I'm going to go ahead and click that. I can clone with SSH if you know how to do that. If you've got the Git client, clone with HTTPS, git clone and paste that in there. That works. We can use Visual Studio Code or what have you. I'm going to just copy the URL. I'm going to open up my GitHub desktop. And I'm going to say I want a, let's see, file. I want to clone a repository. I go to URL, and we put that, and we're going to do, this is going to be, we're just going to call this demo. We'll call this folder demo. So we're going to go to Dropbox shared dev folder demo, and we're going to be getting our code. Click clone. All that code is flowing down. All right. And repository will change. Well, it'll stay K2 because this can be confusing in this. Oh, no, there it is. Demo. We want demo. Okay. Cool. So let's go to our coding tool here, and we're going to go, it's not in K2, it's going to be in share. So I'm going to go project, add folder to project, and we're going to go to Dropbox, shared dev folder, and we're going to go to, what do we call it, demo. We're going to add that folder. So there we are. This is K2, and we've got a demo app in there. We've got config, we've got CSS file. There's our export, so that if you wanted to just import the app that we're going to kind of build right now, this is what you'd do. Just install and then import that app. Yeah, that's the K2 art. We don't need to worry about that. We've got an install script. We've got a JavaScript file. We've got our K2 library with all our cool features. Notes, here's some notes, vanity URLs on Lightsail, very helpful in setting up a vanity URL. I won't do that today, but it's pretty easy to do. I just did it twice following these notes the other day. It worked great. And actually, the timer does mean something. Every break, I will stop and then I'll upload this. This will all be on a playlist so that you can go through this and get started playing around with this. Okay, so anyway, now next step, we're going to need a user in our database. So we're going to use Apex to create that. So let's log out here, and we're going to log in as our admin. I'm on the Oracle free tier here, and we're going to see if we can log into that. Yeah, okay, we're going to go to manage instance or manage workspace. I'm not sure. Manage, we want mail queue. I think we want manage workspace. Oh, we got to disable LastPass. Extensions. And, oh, please. I'm trying to get off of LastPass since they're breach. I'm not too happy about that. And I'm just using Brave's native password deal. So manage workspace to schema assignments. And you could create the user on the back end and then come and map it to your workspace. I'm going to do add schema. And this is going to be a new schema. Next. We're going to put in our app workspace. Next. And I think I'm going to set this project up. We're going to call we're going to call this loan. And set the password. Sure, we'll save that. Add schema. So we're just adding a schema to our workspace. And now we can log back out and log back into our workspace. And we actually want to log in. All right, so now I'm looking at my list here because I did go through this last night. Found a lot of issues, fixed them, but haven't gone through it again. Add new schema. Okay, create a new application. Some of these things, the order doesn't necessarily have to be what it is. So we're going to create a new application. So we all know how to do this. App Builder. We're going to create new app. It's going to be very basic. We're going to call it loan. Default Vita side menu. I don't want any of this stuff. We're going to change the schema to loan. We'll do 450. I don't know if anyone's got any good solutions for how they name application IDs. Kind of don't care about it too much. I'm not going to go through advanced settings. We're going to leave this with Oracle Apex accounts and do create application. Now, I just thought of something. So we got our loan app. So I'm going to be copying things. I guess I should have thought about this before. I'm going to be copying objects from the demo project. So you probably do want to import the demo project. You don't have to create the back end for it. It doesn't actually have to work in order for you to get the login form, for example. You want to get that login form out of that or login page. You can copy that without it actually working. So you will want to import demo and create that. All right. So here's loan. Next, we need to grant permissions to this user. So we're going to open, and we're going to go up to our demo folder, and which is there. And we're going to open up K2 grants. And we're going to call this loan. And we're going to run it. as admin. So you'll get a few errors in here. It tries to do grants two ways. So you can see I got 1, 2, 3, 4 errors, but everything should be okay. And then we can close that. Sorry, I'm going to be coughing a little bit. Okay, so now let's create our application. So I'm going to go to git bash command line. You don't have to do it this way. It's just going to copy folders. And we're going to go to our demo folder. And we're going to chmod70 star.shell. And we're going to do create app.shell loan. And I'll show you what this does so you can do it manually if you want. So all frameworks kind of have a command to kind of scaffold, build out the scaffolding that you need for your application. This is all it's doing. So let's see if this works. Still got a bug in there. Okay. There's a little bug. I'm going to screenshot that. That's funny, isn't it? Road inspection team. We have checked this one. It's fine. No action needed. Your state roads are ready for spring. Let's go ahead and just capture that and throw that in a Word document. I fixed that, but somehow that one snuck back. One of the problems with version controls, sometimes things don't get everywhere you think they are. So, if we go look now, we have a new folder called Loan. It's just a copy of demo. All you would have to do is copy the demo folder and rename it. And you would do the same thing. It takes the app config file, changes it to loan config. It changes app install to loan install. And then, yeah, like this default config, this is supposed to actually say loan config. So that's a bug. Not a big one. This is your loan config. This is your config file that you can put anything you want in. And then our app loan install should have changed that to loan config. So there are some problems there. Loan install, loan config, all the other stuff is app user. Yep. And so that's that directory. Let's go to our config. And here's a generic app config for the app. And let's go through our config files. Yeah, we can go ahead and do this now. Let's go ahead and do the config files. So I might want to change the version number. I don't actually use this too much, but it's just an internal version number. I usually set it to the date. It's already set to that. This is dev environment. My app name is going to be loan, and it's a dev. My app owner is going to be my email address. And my from email, this really matters. You should have already set up your email so it works from your Apex instance on whatever you're using. I'm using Oracle Free Tier Cloud. And so I have to send my mail from this address. I've got it set up that way. This is an approved user. Software. Do I not know how to spell software? We do not want to disable email. We want to override. So yeah, we do want to do the override. So that all emails basically going to users will go to this address. So we want to force that in our development environment. Our test user, we're going to create a test user called test@foo.com. And we do want to change the password because if I leave it like this, then you'll be able to log into this application pretty easily. So we're going to call this RRR Chevy truck exclamation point. How about that? Okay, let's go to app job. This, this controls jobs if you put the logic into the jobs. You know, you have to do it though. You have to, if you want to check and see if the person wants to disable jobs, or you know, you need to check this. So we'll get into that later. But do we want to disable all jobs? No. Do we want to enable any of these? Not yet. We really don't. And some of those might go away, but no, we don't really want to enable those right now because a lot of these would already, like the SQL log updates, that'll already be running another schema, and it captures everybody's SQL. So you only really need it running in one Apex application. Arc SQL config, log level 1's good. That's our debug level, and 1 is standard. Some SQL log stuff, and some of this code is really old. It goes back, but it still works great. So, do we want to allow debug secrets? So there are times when you're like logging passwords because you need to see what is going on, and you have to set that to true. Those are arcsql.log secret, log_secret lines. So if you ever need to log secrets, you can turn those on and off so that they'll, you know, and you could set this based on your environment if you wanted to. Okay, ChatGPT config, we're not going to do that yet. Our URL, so this is where we would go, let's say, and just run our app. And so we'll just go into here and run it. And we'll just steal this right up here. And it should already be, actually it's just the .com part. So, okay, so you got your external domain. So once you have a vanity URL, and I say do not end with /, but then I did that, but I think it's supposed to be that way. That might be a bug too. And you can see we're using ORG. Sometimes people change that. That needs to be there, set for that. So if you set up a vanity URL, which you can in that notes folder right here on Lightsail pretty easily, but those instructions will probably get you by any server. And you set up a vanity URL, then you're going to want to put that in here. So, you know, if I'm loan.com, it would be https://loan.com. That's so that when we email a link out externally, we know what to kind of use. So, and then we have a secret key. I'm just going to, wish I had a way to easily do this. So we'll just say doctor. Sure, that works. We're just letting the AI Copilot try to figure out something. All right, there's our secret key. Email config, this is what you need to run as admin to get your email working. So just do that, make sure your email works. We'll test email. SAS auth, so our default date time zone, our protocol HTTPS, of course, our salt, which we would change this. I'm not going to do too much to our request rate limit. So this I think it's just generic auth requests for logins or something. It limits how many can occur in a 10-minute window. And I'll be showing that someday. You probably do want something on there. Flash notifications, those might be going away. Auth over pages using. I'm pretty sure this is going away. I'm going to add. Oh well, pretty sure that's going away. Enable these are password restrictions. Enable auto login days. So if you want to allow people to basically auto login, you got to set this. It's something people really like. And here's your Stripe config. If you've got Stripe information, we're not going to be going through Stripe setup in this demo. So those are all set up. So let's go ahead and Should we, yeah, we've ran the grants. Let's go ahead and do a demo install. So let's install now, the back end. So now we're going to go to File, Open, go to Demo, Install, Loan, Dev, Loan Install. Hopefully this has got the right paths. Should. So we've got our app directory is loan. That's that directory was created, and we're in the dev environment. And then the K2 library is lib. Now you can version. Let's say I wanted to my app to use a version of the library, and I want to continue developing in another location. I could just kind of copy this and call it loan-lib, and copy the lib directory right here. So I just copy this directory and call it loan-lib and point to that. Then from that point on, that's the version of K2 that it's running. All the other code is kind of application code. So that allows you to kind of not break it when you're working in multiple apps at one time or multiple environments. You could do that for your prod and stuff. So I like developing on a lot of stuff on as few branches as possible, because it's really hard to sync your code up when it's on a lot of different branches and do merges and stuff. The system is working really well for me, and it's very flexible. Okay, so let's run this, and we're gonna have to create a connection. So we'll just let's just go to properties. We're going to call this loan. Should technically be loan dev. We'll be deleting this as soon as I'm done. Let's test it. Works. Save. And run this. And we want to run it against loan. Now this will need to run a couple times because we're not like loading all the package headers first and then the body. So there's at least 2 times, maybe 3. If you're getting errors after the 3rd time, there's probably a bug that I need to fix. Okay. So I'm getting down to about a minute, and then I'll stop this, upload it to the latest demo playlist for the release. And I'll start another one. So I would love to make this one-click install. There's definitely ways to do it. It would be nice if you could run SQL scripts directly in the database easily, and that they were synced with like a repository, so that you could do your code here, push it to your repository, and your app would pull from that. That's how it ought to work. So I know I got some errors. We're just going to clear that, hit F5, and run it again. So what this doing is installing all that code in all those directories. This code base is getting really, really big. It's scary how big it is and how big it will get. But at the same time, it's all stuff that I need, and as soon as I can replace it, I will. Like the region login form. You need, if you're going to build a SaaS site, you can't use the kind of default login form that you get. At least the one I'm familiar with. Because I need other capabilities. Password reset, email tokens, or email password reset links, or auto login. Okay, so that ran without error. That's what I'm looking for. We should be able to not have any errors. All right, so I'm going to end that here, and we'll pick it up in the next video.